Chainsword Diaries is coming to you from Immortals Inc. Studios. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, chainsworders of all ages, it's time for the hotness. It is the Chainsword Diaries coming at you right now. Hey guys, we're talking a little bit this week about command points and what to do with them. So with me, as always, I've got TCD Jeff, TCDG. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about command points and some effective uses of them, how to make the most out of them, what armies can maximize their abilities, and what you can do to really turn command points to your advantage in list building. We're looking at it from both a list building perspective and how to utilize those with certain stratagems. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about what happened. As much as I don't want to, there was some ugliness, a little xenophobia that happened on the table.
It was ugly.
Yeah. A lot of ugly models died.
Yeah.
Literally, the orcs just shit.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
Yeah. I have no excuse. That was just poorly played, poorly rolled. It was ugly, and Zagstruck's going to be doing time. It's just,
walking the mile, walking the green mile.
Oh man,
yeah, that was So I've not played against orcs in 8th. We learning game with you.
Yeah,
but they suck.
Ooh,
shots
fired.
Suck,
this just in.
Audience, if you guys play orcs, like they suck.
Whoa! Here's the real question: what sucks more, bikes or orcs?
Orcs might suck more.
I was gonna say that my bike survived the orc onslaught.
Like they shoot terribly, and they just die if you're like exhaust from your bike gets on them. Like they suck so hard.
You're not supposed to fail like every charge that you have in the game. That's just not statistically supposed to happen. I don't know if Jeff breathed on my dice or what the hell was going on, but contagious. I failed every damn charge in the game. I did no wounds.
I was gonna say I didn't even roll that well though.
No, Jeff, you did your typical ones, but your one still wounded them. Like they were. I was like, wow, these are bad stuff. Army, like they need a book or something quick because they're just terrible.
I don't like. I feel like though, what really hinders them, and I mean, like. You really wanted to get off the jump.
Yep.
And you failed it on the second turn, which really that cost you.
Yep.
That cost you
Big time.
Early. But also, it's like I don't know. I just feel like maybe again I haven't really seen too many orcs lists and see them play too much. So I feel like they maybe need to dig outside of just the boy spam. Because I mean, you look what happened. I just brought two flying hearses, and
that was.
I mean, that's 32 AP minus one shots a turn, and I'm just churning out boys.
Yeah. I think I made some list building errors with trying out the.
No. I think it's definitely like if you can get the right rolls and stuff, it can devastate me.
But
devastate.
I thought the rolls were par because you still rolled your bunch of ones. And Matt cannot make charges to save his life, no matter what he plays. So that was on par. But they don't do anything. Like there's a bunch of them, but like they don't do anything.
But it's a slow list too, because if you don't get off the jump,
right? If you can't pull off the jump, yeah.
I feel like you might want to mix in maybe a truck or two or something. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not trying to,
No. It had to do a lot with we're trying to, I was still stretching our standards for the battle report pretty thin with what I put on the table, and once I get a couple more things painted up, I can bring things that give me a little bit more mobility.
That'd be good,
I really have.
I think the Storm Boys were a good addition. I think so.
Didn't they die as soon as they got on the table?
They did die quick.
Wait, what are the big orcs with like the robot limbs?
Mega knobs.
Like, he brought some, but
yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah, they were just too slow. They were just too slow. So really, what happened? I've got excuses for everything because it's chaos, and I'm going through PTSD. 2 editions of bad, and orcs are even worse. 2 editions of bad codexes. No, really, what it came down to is a lot of my stuff, a lot of my orc stuff that gives me the mobility. I've got 3 battle wagons that I
there
can
you
sit and
go,
pop stuff
yeah.
into. It's just they happen to be in a state of disrepair right now. That
Yeah.
needs a little
At
glue.
the mech shop.
At the mech shop.
Not enough orcs believe they can
Yeah,
roll,
that's
so
right.
they just
Yeah.
see, what I didn't like about the list was like it was dependent on your weird boy. But if he would have brought snipers, then would have just killed them. It'd be useless, right? Because they
Yeah,
can't
but-
jump.
No, then the thing is because the Weird Boy's a smaller model, it's real easy to keep him out of line of sight. And snipers still
Okay.
need snipers, even though they
Sure.
can pick out characters. If you can't see them, you can't shoot them.
Okay.
Unless you're talking that crazy IG 850 mortar garbage that I can't even call it garbage. I love
It's
it.
good. It wins.
Yeah,
It's better than orcs.
And like it's still fluffy though. Too.
Yeah,
that's the
super
thing.
fluffy.
That's the
We're
thing that
talking
gets me
about
on
it
board with
tonight.
it. It's
Yeah,
fluffy.
and we like the fluff.
We do
and
like the fluff.
orcs are fluffy, but they don't do anything else.
No,
The ride or die rules in effect. They either ride or they die.
It's always in effect. Honestly, dude, do you have some what are those guys? The bikes, war bikers.
I don't have any biker now.
I was gonna say Def Copters and war bikes. Those guys
Yeah,
are dope,
something.
man.
Well, war buggies.
I like those
I think
guys.
war buggies translate well. The problem.
Yeah, that's what you brought. a couple
Yeah,
of
no.
those.
The problem was you got.
But I mean, you brought them up. There's the only thing in my field to shoot at. So
Yeah.
it's like I just,
with failing the first unit failing the charge, and then everything shot at that unit of 30 boys, and they were gone. The second unit failed to jump, and then you pick that unit of
You
boys
couldn't
off.
shoot his bike that was just holding one objective, and like I mean, then his like he could have you were winning without your Terminators, and then
yeah.
once they came, I was like, oh well, it's over.
Yeah,
I was like, well,
it was pretty ugly, and I'm going to argue that statistically average day for me all day long because there were some pretty bad rolls on saves. I don't think I saved.
But I thought with orcs, you're not going to save. That's why they give you the numbers because you have a T-shirt save. You save on a 6 unless there's a neg, and then they just die. So that's why they give you the numbers. So that is expected, and that's how you build the army.
Yes,
You know?
but you should if you're rolling 18 saves, you should make 3. Generally speaking, on average, and
Okay.
there were 2 rounds of shooting that Jeff peeled off that I made no armor saves.
No.
That's rough.
Yeah, you didn't make any arses. No, I think what hurt you the most is you had 2 rounds where you didn't do a single wound
wound.
because of your shooting.
Couldn't get a charge off.
Shooting.
Couldn't get
Well,
a
you're
charge off.
shooting also.
It's a shooting game, so
That's valid. And like I said, the one thing that I really, if I had it all to do over again, I was trying out the flash kits to see how they worked.
I think I like flash kits. I think you got to find a way to get them up the board quicker. I like them a lot.
I really, really like.
Put them on a truck.
Yeah.
Exactly, I like them. I
Put 'em
like
on the
flash
back of
kits
the
a lot.
truck like Mexicans and start.
Wow.
I can
Hey.
say that because I'm Latino. So
Oh wow.
Yeah. She gets to make all the good jokes. We're
I
just
get-
here.
Yes. So if you happen to be a Mexican who plays orcs, I'm looking for you.
That's the way to go.
Challenge is open.
Oh my god.
It's El War Boss. That's how it goes.
Oh my
This is El Nob. Oh man,
That's
okay.
all good.
All right, that's it for our daily dose of racism.
Yeah, I think we covered
Wow.
it. So moving
Man.
on to
All right.
GW. Moving on to GW and what they're doing.
G-dubs.
So Jeff, you got your hands, got it sitting right in front of you. I see it right there. Adeptus Mechanicus just dropped.
I am thoroughly excited about this. I mean, I picked up AdMech at the tail end of 7th. It was like, I don't know, probably a couple more months before 8th. And obviously pick up brand new models. Like, I
Yep.
never got a chance to play them in 7th.
Oh, wow.
So I am really excited to get them out on the table. Yeah, I am excited to start mixing up some Forge World dogmas, some stratagems, and all this stuff. I'm excited. Yeah, and I'll probably get to write up something about it.
Good.
Get some.
Yeah,
What,
sounds good, man.
What attracted you to them?
I will say at first, it was the Skitarii models are
Okay.
so dope.
Yeah, they're
So
really
dope.
great sculpts.
And then I really like the Cataphron sculpts. They're basically just rolling tank. Like they're
Yeah.
people. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to call them. They're like mini tanks. They're
Yeah,
so
it's-
cool.
It's like Rock'em Sock'em robots with treads. That's
It's
exactly what they
so
look
cool.
like.
I like their aesthetic. Like it's like this 1950s
It's like Baroque
steampunk.
robot,
steampunk
steam-
Baroque.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they're very cool looking. I don't know if they're any good. I can't wait to see them. Actually,
Yeah, they got
so.
some little tricks. I mean, I think there are ways to cheese them out for sure. They have a few like super crazy one trick ponies like
Castellans.
yeah, like there are some one trick ponies that are like straight up like nukes. But then there's a lot of the stuff that's kind of middle of the road. Like they have a lot of specialists. So it's hard to give them blanket rules that help them. It's easy with Space Marines because Space Marines can kind of do everything okay. So it's, like giving them rerolls of ones that hit in close combat. Like that's fine for a Space Marine, but most of the Mechanicus units don't even want to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's
they're
it's tough
they're
to
the
give
shooty
them-
army.
Okay, so they
Yeah.
are shooty.
Yeah,
Oh,
big
for
time.
sure.
Super
Shooty is definitely there.
Yeah, I'm going to translate everything he said into G for you right now.
Okay.
3 units of Castellans can pump out 108 strength 6 shots at AP -2.
Two.
Wow.
One
and
damage.
with
You can give them a stratagem that on 6s they become mortal wounds.
and Call gives them rerolls
Nice.
within 6 inches.
Yes, all
Ooh,
failed.
So
hit rolls.
calls come in. too.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the call model, so I'm actually not going to play him.
Really,
Nice,
man, that
okay.
Call model is dope. I don't
I
know
don't
what you
know,
were
like,
smoking,
I
It
don't
man.
looks
know.
kind of weird, but
Yeah, it's just like a big. I don't know. It's not my thing. Like I respect it. I think it's a great sculpt. Like a lot of cool stuff on it, but it's just
Yeah.
not me.
because he looks weird.
Basically, yeah. Just
Oh.
So
Yeah,
you're
so-
racist.
Yeah.
The racism comes
Wow.
full circle.
Yeah, we're back to being
Wow.
racist again. You're anti-Marzitic or something.
We did sit you on
Actually, I'm probably gonna be playing Mars.
Okay,
And I'm not even gonna bring
you're-
call.
Yeah. Oh my god.
See, that's the thing though too. I like to carve my own path. I don't just like to pick whatever's good. You know what I mean? Like I like to make something
No,
my
no, no.
own.
Since you don't play competitive, like it makes sense. Like I'm looking at it as, I would say I'm gonna.
No, I agree. Like if you
will
want to
be-
win, there's no reason. you
Yeah,
should
not
I
to
will
be-
be
yeah,
the
you
most
always play
competitive, like as far as building list. But okay, so that makes sense. I like to win. Like I know you don't, but so I like to win.
Wow.
So that's why. Like
See, that's the thing. Like, I think, I like to win too, but like, if I win the way I do it my own way, like, that's way more sweeter than just saying, like, oh, I brought Call and like all these Castellan robots and I just dominated. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't. It doesn't feel as good to me. That's
Okay.
just me. That's just me.
okay. I don't know. I think you just play it. No matter what army, you bring the good stuff. Like
Too bad-
I'm there to win.
Too bad codexes. I'm bringing all the heat for days.
Oh my gosh.
Too many people have been. My wife gave me shit for losing at 40K, man. This stuff can't stand.
true.
I just
all
can't
right.
stand it anymore.
Yeah.
When my wife, who like stares at me for playing little plastic nerdy games, is giving me shit for not winning at little plastic nerdy games.
You needed a W, so I'm
Yeah.
glad you got it.
Yeah, it
So,
was nice.
So
Pat
good. I'm
Ego.
excited to see them. Either way, regardless of who you bring or however you build, I can't wait to see them because I don't know what they do. So
Yeah,
they're
I'm
cool
excited.
looking.
There's like little stratagems that give you little tricks in here though. So
A
I'm
lot
gonna
of
really,
layering.
yeah, there's a lot of layering. So I want to dig through it and really find my niche.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
So that's it for Adeptus Mechanicus. Let's get into command points. So when I'm building an army, I know, Jeff, you have a certain idea about command points. We talked a little bit about it last week, where you want to maximize them just to kind of minimize your dice rolls and have that come to you. I'm looking at it for things like stratagems. And G, what are you bringing command points for?
okay, so specifically
Rerolls for Smite.
to guarantee that my psychic powers go off.
Yeah, second shooting
And-
phase.
Yeah, my first
Well,
shooting
when you
phase.
play Grey Knights,
When
yes.
I play
Yeah.
Grey Knights, and
Well, that's their stick.
to maximize my wounds. So last cannons, if I roll a 1 or 2, I'm gonna re-roll that for a higher number.
Like for the damage.
For the literally the wounds and the I'm sorry, to actually hand out the damage. Yeah.
I
Not
can
for
go
the
with that.
wound rolls, but
Yeah.
those are my 2 things immediately every time.
All right.
Yeah. What about you?
So, like I said, I'm looking at when I build lists, I try to get that synergy and that domination. So I'm really looking at the stratagems that I bring. For example, today when I was playing Death Guard, they have a chaos ability that is all chaos, not just Death Guard, called Veterans of the Long War. For a command point, I can add +1 to wound, not +1 to my strength, straight up +1 to wound. So if you toss that on something like, say, a demon, in this case I used it on a demon prince against a knight, and I was wounding on 4 ups with 7 attacks. doing 2 damage each attack, and that's no joke when you're laying down that kind of damage. I look to maximize whatever my army's strength is with those stratagems, and really kind of build on that.
So like I know you kind of you pick that one, you like to say win one phase of the game, or whatever. So you really like to like overkill it. So
oh yeah, for
make like almost ensure, like make it a sure thing that you're gonna get that.
And
it's fair. Yeah.
It comes back to the fact that I know that when I'm playing, like you like to, we all joke, but you like to shore up your rolling and minimize your risk.
If anybody needs
minimize
to do that,
your risk. So for me, my biggest risk is I tend to forget things unless I have something that I'm planning out at the beginning of the game. So if I'm planning on using certain stratagems with certain units, it allows me to maximize the most of what I took in a list.
Here, let's back up a little because you guys. Command points are new to everybody, but you didn't have those before in the older editions. And when you, like your theory, I'll play devil's advocate. If you don't have a codex with your specific stratagems, then your command points are worthless. So, like, let's talk about what command points did coming into 8th, like from both of you guys, because you guys played before, and then now it's being something new. And then I want to further explore like that stratagem, like that point.
Well, see, I disagree. It's not just about using the codex specific stratagems, because one thing that I use out of just the basic stratagems is the ability to intercept and take the first attack after charge.
Okay.
That's something that I'm planning on doing with an army. So if I'm bringing, even before the codex came out, when I'm playing straight index chaos, I'm bringing in 20 berserkers. I want those berserkers to hit as soon as they can hit.
And do you think you use that more than re-rolling failed, X?
It's what I plan to use more.
Okay.
More. There are always, what I try and do is divvy it out to about 50-50. But the planned use of, when I'm building a list, I build with the intention of, I at least want to use this many points on stratagems, so I need to account for that.
Okay. And then Jeff.
So I would go with the fact that actually, like, with not having any faction unique stratagems, like at first, like I was kind of like, command points are cool. I think they're cool, but like there was nothing. I just want to get out of rerolls. Like most of my armies that I play aren't really close combat phased. Like that's not their thing. So like I'm not really banking on trying to intercept, assaults, and like the other ones like reroll morale, or you auto pass morale,
right.
which is
never
like
used that,
never use that. So like the rerolls are nice. You automatically get 3. So I guess like lately I've been sort of like, okay, maybe I can get extra rerolls out of it if I run the battalion or whatever. So that kind of comes into my list, but not so much. But now that I have the Mechanicus Codex, like literally I'm seeing all these stratagems. It's like, not all of them are great, but literally I'm thinking about how I can max out on command points. So I have these options in the game for all these extra stratagems. Because again, like, with Mechanicus, again, I don't want to just speak for all factions, just for Mechanicus, it's like there's not a ton of stuff that is like super, super good, or like something that's like always tight. Like, Space Marine, Space Marine can kind of weather the storm, but like Mechanicus, they got a lot of weak models and stuff like that, toughness 3 and stuff like that. I need special tricks for them to make them better, to make them hit harder, to make them do something special. So I really want to make sure I'm maximizing out to get those extra stratagems, that extra puff.
Okay. Now that's something specific, but you're saying when 8th just started, when it started, just looking at, I get to re-roll.
That's it. That's literally all I saw that
re-roll.
for.
I get 3 or 6 re-rolls.
That's all I could use it for.
And then at the very beginning, what did they mean to you, Matt?
Again, there were a couple things that I looked at, and it wasn't just the re-roll. I'm very familiar with the re-roll mechanic because, as you and I started out playing Blood Bowl, and that's something that's central to using risk mitigation and those rerolls. But I was still looking at the opportunity and looking at we like to play a lot of Maelstrom, and there was the ability to go ahead and burn a card. And for me, the ability to burn a card and go from something that I knew I wasn't going to score, like You had your 3 units of paladin sitting around objective 6, and I pulled defend objective 6. If I can burn that right then, it does a double benefit for me in the fact that I'm not only am I getting rid of that card, I've also eliminated it from my draw. So it really improves my chances of scoring points.
That's a good point. I mean, isn't that 2 command points? Though?
It is 2 command points.
Yeah,
it's
too expensive.
It is. Yeah, if it was 1, I'd be like, I'd be doing that a lot more often. But 2, that's tough.
Even when I play Grey Knights, I don't use their stratagems. I use the one that gives me a 3rd die when I want to do the vortex. Well, other than that, I don't touch them.
Well, that's the thing. It's that's what I was saying. Like about Space Marines, like they kind of have like. They can weather the storm, but it's like the way I'm seeing it, like just, again, I haven't really played Mechanicus, but seeing just the, comparing them to stuff that I've seen, it's like I need something extra to get them over the hump, to, make sure that they weather the storm and, pump out enough damage and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use the Steel combat phase that often. Almost never. I never roll the morale thing because Marines get to do it for free. And
well, it's not a reroll; it's an auto pass.
Oh, it's an auto pass.
But
it's basically a pass.
It's great for orcs.
I was gonna say it's great for
horde armies.
That when they lose 10 models from the unit, it's like I need to.
So we'll have to talk to like a Tyranid player or.
Well, when I played, I mean, you didn't use it.
You didn't use any.
No, well, no, because in that case I was looking to. I needed to kill that one model, and I had used. I'd used a lot of my command points on rerolls. I didn't.
You used one to save your weird boy because you were going to take mortal wounds.
Yep.
That's the only one I remember actually you using. And I know you've used others, but I just don't. Recalling that game from memory.
I tried. I used it on a reroll to wound in the 2nd round, and a reroll to wound again on the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say because there's a few times where I knocked off 2 of your boy squads with with impossible morale checks.
And this is really why I'm talking about where I forget certain stratagems if I'm not going in planning for it. So
I see a lot of people use them. I think people use them incorrectly the majority of the time, because I see a lot of people use them for to guarantee something hits or to guarantee that something wounds, but then that still gives your opponent a chance to roll to save. And I see a lot of them burned I'm going to use this to make sure I hit. Sure, but then their opponent saves and it was a waste. I never use them to hit because I think that's the biggest way. I'm still giving my opponent an opportunity to negate that free resource of mine. So.
And steal that reroll.
Yeah, there's just no way. That's why I only, if I do 1 damage on my last cannon, I'm gonna reroll that so I can do more. That pretty much shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I guess I'm a little bit different. I try not to always give a hard fast rule when I'm gonna use my reroll. It's kind of like if I really need it. If it's late in the game and I got a command point or 2 left, and it's I really need this one shot. It's a big damage shot to hit something. I might just roll it, because I need it. There's certain things that you I kind of weigh the cost and see what it.
I really have to say that I hadn't thought about it. I learned just as much as the listeners do. I hadn't really thought about it from the point that you were bringing, G, of looking in, because I do the same thing. I do the same thing in Blood Bowl. That I won't reroll something that you can take away from me.
Right.
And
you do it in this game, but in Blood Bowl, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about that.
That's a really solid tactical thought to bring to the table. So G, you've been asking the questions, bringing the highlights. You've stated you don't really use your stratagems with Grey Knights. Let's talk a little bit more about your Templars. What are you looking at when you're playing something that's not psychic?
So the other day I played a good game against Yang, and I used my rerolls for my last cannons. I brought 2 Razorbacks, and I blew up his Raven Wing in 1 turn, and it was all
Raven
I rolled.
Wing. This is Blood Angels.
Storm Raven.
Storm Raven. Okay, yeah. It's a
Come
bird,
on, man.
It's another plane. The red plane.
The red plane.
It's not a hearse. It's not a church.
Yeah. I don't have a.
I don't know what to call it.
Since I don't play them, I don't know about that, so I apologize. I literally did 13 wounds to it in 1 turn out of my Rhino or Razorbacks, and that's I used that, and that might have been. And I still had like 3 or 4 left when the game was over. And I think I interrupted one attack with my chaplain that his character attacked him, but I think that was it. I really didn't. I don't need them. I get to reroll charges, and that's a melee army, so I just don't. I don't even use them. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say you have the deny the witch one.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
But I don't know if he had any psychers. It's, again, it's situational.
No. Yeah, he had 2 psychers, but like, yeah, no. He unfortunately he failed, and like, he can smite and kill a model. Like that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
So like, yeah, no. It really was literally just to make sure that my hammers wound and my last cannons do a lot of damage. So and it's just the way I play, I guess, because I don't know. I don't see another reason, Now, that's why I want to hear from you guys. Like, what?
Now, do you make exceptions to that rule if it's a one-shot gun? Like, if you're bringing, what is it, the Stormseeker missiles, or I'm sorry, I don't play
Hunter Killer missiles.
There you go.
I will. No, if it misses, it misses. I will re-roll that damage because it's another D6.
Right.
If I got a D6 and I roll like a 1 or 2, I'm automatically re-rolling. Like automatically. Yeah. I'm gonna wipe.
Statistics are with you.
Unless I'm killing like one model, like I'm shooting a handful of whatever. Like no, but if it's something big, I'm gonna re-roll that bad boy.
See, that's my thing though. Like I get that. I totally agree with that. But also like the thing for me is like when I need to kill something and like if I miss the hit on the hit roll or whatever on my big gun that's supposed to do all the damage, it's like I kind of sometimes have to expect. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say always. I'm definitely not going to say always. But like when it's like in a game where I need to kill it, like to get him off objective or to let me get an objective or something, close game, whatever. That's why I try not to say like it's a hard and fast rule that you could always have to do that or something.
The reason I don't really do it that to hit is because I put my shooters next to my captains and lieutenants, so I do that for free. So I just it's why spend that point when I've already paid for that and that investment's already paying off. That's true. That's the only thing. Like that's what I look at. That's what I if a unit is around one of my captains and lieutenant, they're not gonna get rerolls. They built in by standing next to them.
In addition, you can't reroll a reroll anyway.
That's
so
true.
You have that.
Yeah. So. Let me ask you guys this: do you save? Do you try to save them? And I know there's of course exceptions, but are you using more command points early, or you're holding them off? Like
I always hold them. I'm too conservative a player to.
Okay.
I always hold them off.
I'm the other way around. Get them off the table early, because the more damage that you can do in early rounds, the less options they're going to have.
I agree. If you holding them off, you're hurting yourself, because when you use them up early, you're eliminating models or whatever. Yeah.
No, I agree. I understand your point. It is an Alpha Strike game, so I totally get that, but. I don't know. I usually kind of like what you go back to. It's like the stuff that I expect to do damage. I usually have some sort of reroll mechanic already on it. So I don't know. I try to like to save them because like I also don't always use them for offensive things though too. Like if I have a warlord and I need him to survive, like I still want to have that just in case I need him to make a save or something. So I keep it around.
There actually is. It depends on the army style that you're playing
D3 like
too.
Victory Point card or something.
That's a very good reason to hold it on.
That's not bad.
Now the other thing is you and I play very, like Jeff said, very heavy Alpha Strike armies. We want you off.
He can't win if he doesn't have models.
Right, and that's kind of the look that we're going for, but. I know before you've mentioned that you've had trouble playing with Tyranids, and when you're playing an army that's looking at that long game, you can get greater return on investment by saving those models to keep models on the table, because now, in the same instance that you're causing someone to lose shots, in this case you're using that principle in reverse. You're forcing them to shoot at a model that they've already shot at to make that save, to make that regen roll, whatever the case may be.
Like, no, see, I think Tyranids, like, every time I lose to them quite a bit, but like it's because I just get overwhelmed. But I will I still use them early because I want to kill that warlord One Eye. I need to get rid of him.
Right.
Or the
Yeah.
warlord. Like, so I'm using like my last cannons are shooting at him and whatever my heavy units.
For you, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's there's value in it, but for the Tyrannid player, there's value for him to hold back and
For
use those
him?
points and bank them up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, well, again, we'll have to talk to the Tyrannid player.
Yeah.
But yeah, my philosophy is use them early, often. Start scoring early. Just you build
Full
up an
court
early
press.
lead. Yeah,
Full
full
court
court press in the first quarter of the game, and they're like, blow them out. They have no models. Maybe they don't move as well now, or they're not doing as much damage to you on their turn. Like I really try to really hurt them early. Yeah.
I guess I think that's also too like I'm kind of like, even though I don't play like super model count heavy armies, like I still kind of play towards the long game, like just
Right.
the way Maelstrom is. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we saw in the stream the other time I was down 9 points or whatever, and I ended up tying the game because I was able to hang in there and get the points back. So it's like,
was it did the command points play a role in that, or with the cards?
I did use a couple rerolls throughout that
Okay.
to make
period,
saves.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
To
you
save.
did.
make
I'll
saves, and
see.
then make saves, and then also I think I used a reroll to hit something with the long strike. I used a reroll to actually get it was a 2-up, and I rolled a 1. Obviously, of course.
Of
So
course, you get a roll.
I got to reroll.
I
that,
imagine that's where all your dice are going. Like I rolled more ones. Like, oh man. So that's where I think like you're trying to save your warlord on feel no pain, and you roll a 1. I was like, oh well, just rerolling that. So like that makes sense to me.
That brings up another hard fast rule for me. I don't reroll anything that requires a 5-up or higher.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I try to reroll ones that make that I have a good chance.
50,
Like if it's
50 minimum.
If it's 3-up or like 3-up or better.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe if it's like a 4-up invuln and like I need my warlord, like if he dies, I lose the game or something.
I
Like
think the 4-up is fine, a 50-50. But if I have to roll a 6,
Yeah,
in fact,
no,
you know what? Yesterday, when I was playing Yang yesterday, I re-rolled just for my Rhino to explode when he finally killed me.
I've done that once.
Just because like I had nothing to do with him. I was like, oh, let me try to roll another 6.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Like, but it was just throwing it away. But it just
See now, G, the nice thing is you're getting into playing great Death Guard, and you can just use a command point and force that bad.
Oh,
boy
that's
along.
exactly.
Mechanicus got that
That's
too. So
Yeah.
That I already know right now that I'm not gonna fail charges because I'm using my command points for that.
I do
And-
use a lot of command points to reroll charges.
Yeah,
That's definitely what I
and
do.
I'm gonna blow up a tank every turn. Every turn. Yep.
Just throw them downfield.
I'm gonna literally
Suicide
throw 'em
bombering.
Yep. It's too bad I can't warp time them or warp them
No, you can't
like
have-
Great Knights do. But ooh,
You can
Yeah,
warp,
you
you can
can't
warp time
gate
them
it.
if you bring a secondary chaos detachment sorcerers.
oh man, I'm throwing rhinos.
But he can't gate him though.
He can't gate it, but he can warp time and make
I
him
can
move twice.
Make it move
Move
twice.
twice,
That's
yeah.
good enough.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Good enough.
24 inches is far enough for pretty much
Yeah.
anything.
Once it gets down to 1 or 2 wounds, like
Yeah.
you're supposed to die anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of that happening. So, but yeah, that's like I said, and that's why I was curious as to how, because you guys are brand new to command points, you're brand new to this,
It's true.
and I immediately walk into it like, oh, I'm gonna use this resource, but you guys are like, well, this is weird, this is new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of
And-
feel it out. It's interesting.
It was something, again, I think it's brought something to the game from a competitive standpoint where a lot of people talk about the RNG being the decider of games. This is something that kind of normalizes out your roles, so you're able to apply statistics more to figure out what's going to work, what do I need it to work, and when do I need it to work. So really it's looking at from a risk mitigation standpoint, looking at those roles that are going to be able to help you in the best statistical way, and eliminating that RNG.
Yeah, your best opportunity for success is, I think, how you have to use them. That would be my recommendation to anybody new or an old player who still is using them to make sure that they hit like that. Don't use them to make sure you hit,
Basically, G is saying, don't be a Jeff. Don't be a TCD Jeff.
guys. In more ways than one, yeah.
Don't play bikes. Don't use your rerolls for just anything. You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, so that was my advice. Okay, now what about you? Coming.
So I guess mine
Let's
is.
say they don't roll ones the way you do. So.
That's true. Gosh, to dream. One can dream of what that must be like. I think mine is. I just be really careful with them. Like I save them for the end game. I save them for when I end up like I feel like the game is, at least Maelstrom games, they usually come down to the final turn or two, and I try to save my command points for then because I need those rerolls then. I need to reroll for victory point cards, reroll it, make sure I make that charge, whatever. Like, yeah, if it's, you know, an important unit or something, maybe early on I'll consider doing it, but most of the time I don't actually end up doing it until like turn 4 or 5.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I usually have some at the end.
Matt,
And
advice.
So my advice that I'd give to everybody, all my chain sorters out there, is plan to use your command points ahead of time. Figure out a use for what you're going to do when you're building the list. Not just figuring that I'm going to use this in this situation, but look at the stratagems that are available. Even if you don't have a codex out, how can you maximize that and put it to your best use?
Yeah, I think having a codex with stratagems kind of changes the game.
Absolutely.
Like, just trying to use it for rerolls, I think is a totally different mindset. Like, now that I have this, like, again, I keep going back to it because I'm really excited about it, but the Mechanicus book is like, I'm totally rethinking how I'm going to use command points, considering I have all these access to all these stratagems that can actually help me do something different.
So then this conversation will be just the intro to command points and how we feel about them early, and then we'll come back to the subject and talk about it a little later once more codex are out, or you know,
codices.
Is it codices? Codai?
I think
Codicai?
Codai?
It's codices.
Codices? Okay. Oh.
I got the official nerd tape on my glasses. It's codices, guys.
Whew. Matt to the rescue. Yeah. So we'll wait till there are more of those out, and then we'll talk about this again and see if we still feel the same way.
Well,
right?
I mean the experience kind of gone through with you. I mean, you've been through 2 codices and you don't really use them.
No, I don't need them.
So there you go.
I roll so good.
Well, I'm curious to see how you do.
I just jinxed myself.
Oh, I hope you jinx yourself.
I was gonna say,
Dear
you rolled
Lord,
I'm gonna edit this
so
out.
Good,
Nurgle.
dude. You rolled so good. Well, I was gonna say,
Curse
I'm curious.
those dice.
I want to see how you use, if you want to use, because I know there's some good ones for Death Guard.
Yeah,
So I
Death
want to
Guard's
see if
so
you can
good.
see if you actually get in on those. Because like again, like Space Marines, that's kind of hit or miss. I don't necessarily. I mean, like obviously they need them just for the sake of consistency throughout the game to have them. But like at the end of the day, do they really need them? They have so much stuff, and like they have. I don't know, like you know, like they don't. I don't really know if they need all the little tricks like other factions.
They can build their tricks through list building as opposed to using stratagems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas you know, there is more of a layered feel to Chaos, more of a layered feel to Mechanicus. I do think that there are some Grey Knight strategies that you may be overlooking.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
because
just
he
don't
doesn't play half the codex because it's 3 up 1 model, 3 up 1 wound models.
No, yeah, I don't play. Yeah, if you have
Don't
one
play
wound,
Purifiers.
I'm
Not gonna play
pl-
Strike.
no,
Not gonna play Strike Squad. You know, not gonna play a
Yeah,
Dreadnought.
and then like I don't need those stratagems because their army's dead because I smited them to death. So like, yeah, I'm sure there's good stuff, but
Great smite.
we'll see what happens when I play another heavy psychic army. You know, that way we can actually have this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Thousand Suns do.
That's gonna be a good battle, Grey Knights versus Thousand Suns. I did it a couple times in 7th edition, and it was kind of like it was kind of hit or miss depending on what, you know, who got what, because it was psychic was a little different.
Right.
But
I'm excited about this one.
But I'm
talking about the 3 damage for the smite. It's really good.
It is.
That's true.
fantastic.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Straight 3 damage for
Straight
smite
3 against a demon.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
The nice thing though is I'll be able to die with +2. So you know, we'll see if you can get some of those off.
All right.
Aight.
It's on in like 6 months when
6 months.
whenever we build those at RV.
Coming to your table, 2020.
Thousand Suns is going to drop before Christmas. You heard it here
will it?
first.
Oh,
Thousand
man,
Suns
that'd be
gonna-
nice.
Wow.
That'd be nice.
Is this something I can go cash? Is this a check I can cash?
I'm putting my name on it. I'm writing
Money
it.
in the
I'm
bank.
writing it. Money in the bank.
Is it money?
I'm putting my name on it.
Wow.
Nice.
TCD Matt is calling his shot.
I actually hope for
Thousand
that
Suns
one,
before
and I hope for
Christmas.
Dark Angels,
Dude,
so that way I
need a
can beat
book.
you when you have a book too.
Need a
No
book.
excuses.
I almost beat you with that
Yeah,
one.
almost doesn't count in 40K.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, Jeff. That's it.
Yep.
All right, chain sorters. So we're gonna kill
Whatever.
it. We're gonna call it a night.
We're gonna kill this podcast the way I killed Jeff.
Shots fired.
But we're also gonna kill this podcast the way Jeff killed Matt.
There we go.
And those are
Okay.
orcs.
Yeah, that was.
I don't like this turn of
I
events at
can't.
all.
I feel bad trying to.
I don't approve.
Like I feel bad. Like it was like I got to the point where I was like my bike was. I had that one bike. That was the people's hero in model form, man.
For real.
Oh,
Like
for real.
he would not die, and I started to feel kind of bad. Like, dude, you just couldn't do anything. I felt bad.
Yeah.
It's
No, this is like I love this game. I love the fluff, but I'm there to win every game. Like I'm
40K
just
for
there,
grown-ups.
Yeah, I'm there to win. I'm there to win. Like I just yeah, nothing in vain. So no matter how fun or fluffy the game is, ultimately I want to come out with a victory. I can take a loss, whatever, but I want to win. I'm just too competitive, and so. And I try not to. But I'm just
All right, guys.
okay.
he
Chain
balances-
sorters.
He balances us out. He balances us.
Yeah, no, he
I'll
is.
beat you, Fluffy.
I'll beat you
with a
I'll
soft,
beat you-
with
I'll
a
beat you,
soft,
Fluffy.
fluffy pillow.
That is G's new sign off. G says, "I'll beat you, Fluffy."
Sucker. I'm gonna throw that
Sucker.
on there.
He.
I like it. I respect. That's a good one. That's a good one. I respect that. That was a good one. I got to tap that one up. That was good.
All right. Hey, make sure to reach out to us on social media. Email us if you're in Cleveland and want to be on the stream. We're gonna be heading out to you in a couple different locations in the month of October. We've got a new little something special coming for you around Halloween time. We'll
Can't talk about it, but
yeah.
it should be real scary.
Yeah, gotta be hot. Gotta be hot.
Hot and heavy.
Hot and scary.
So, Jeff, why don't you lead us out, man?
People's hero signing off. I roll ones, so you don't have to. That's real talk.
All right. I'm good. I said my thing. I'll beat you with a fluffy pillow.
Sucker.
Sucker. I forgot to throw that in there.
And we're signing off from Immortals Inc. Studio. This is the Chainsword Diaries.